What's up, guys? It's Kess, and today I am beyond excited. First of all, shout out to Blizzard for letting me take part in this incredible event over the last few days. I got to test all the Evoker changes, AUG, Dev, Devour, DH, everything for the public eye. And today I am so incredibly honored and proud to bring to you guys my first look at the Dev Evoker changes. There'll be AUG videos and stuff as well. So if you guys are interested in that, I'll have them below. But today we're going to look at the Dev Evoker changes together first. I have not opened the talent page yet. This will be a first look walkthrough with me. I might do a more in-depth look later, but this is going to be a first experience that we do together. Now, before this, I did get to read some patch notes. I won't be able to share those on screen, but I sort of have an idea of what I'm about to see. But anyways, we'll go through this together. I hope you guys enjoy. I'm really excited. So we'll start over on the left side, just the Evoker tree, very basic, and we'll look for any changes here. But from what I already know, and as far as I can see, pretty much everything's the same on the top. Still have all our utility down on the right here. Sleepwalk, Cauterize as well. None of our little unique, like Tailwind Recall, Exuberance, none of that stuff got changed. But where you start to see changes is down here in this bottom left corner. And the biggest one in the general tree is Unravel is now a passive spell. So basically how it works now is if Fire Breath is on a mob that has an Absorb Shield, Unravel will just happen. So Fire Breath consumes Absorb Shields from enemies, dealing 15 additional Spell Frost damage to them. So less button bloat, less things for you guys to add to your bars, less keybinds, whatever. Keeping Dev Evoker a pretty simple spec, right? With, minimal buttons. So this is pretty cool, I think. This is awesome, especially because Unravel was sort of like a buggy spell, right? There was a lot of instances ever since its release where it would tell you that you could press the button, but you would press it and it would do no damage, right? The game would trick you into, using it or whatever. You no longer have to like add a button to your bar or anything like that. Just talent into it and it happens. Great. We love that. Extra damage to absorbs. And then Leaping Flames has a new icon down here as well. Fire Breath causes your next living flame to strike one additional trip or empowered spell. This has already been in the game. We knew this, just different spot, different icon. So this is cool. We'll do the hero talents last, and we'll jump over to the Dev Evoker tree over here. Now, immediately upon looking at it, guys, you can see many changes. Many changes. I know from reading the notes, I'm just going to open with this, okay? Open with this. Firestorm and Shattering Star are deleted from the game. They're no longer buttons you have to press. They are no longer keybinds you have. They're no longer on your bars. They just do not exist. However, we'll get there in a bit. Shattering Star is sort of reworked as a passive spell. That is pretty cool. But Firestorm as a spell itself is deleted from the game. Shattering Star as a spell you press is deleted from the game. It is moved over to a passive. So, let's jump into this. Essence Burst stuff, still the same. Lay Waste is in a new spot, right? It used to be over here. Now it's over here. Volatility is the same. Power Nexus. Ruby Embers. This is no longer a choice node. Used to have a choice node with the option to have like a longer Living Flame cast. It did a little bit more damage. Now it's just Ruby Embers. Still stacks to 3. Dragon Rage. Animosity still the same. Essence Attunement still the same. Arcane Intensity. Eternity Surge, and then we have a new spell here for those of you that like Azure Strike. It's an Azure Strike incentive spell. Again, I haven't tried it yet. I have no idea how it performs, but nonetheless, Azure Sweep. Okay, so passive. Eternity Surge upgrades your next Azure Strike to Azure Sweep, damaging all nearby enemies and dealing 75% additional damage. What is Azure Sweep? Azure Sweep. Concentrate Azure Energy into your tail and sweep. Release Pure Energy magic upon an enemy and nearby targets for 1066 Spellfrost damage. Damage reduced beyond 9 targets. So it sort of gives you incentive to actually use Azure Strike rotationally. So you would like Eternity Surge, then Azure Strike for like AoE damage, right? Pretty interesting. We'll have to try it out. Um, but we'll do that in another video where I just like hit the dummy or something. But anyways, kind of cool. New spell, especially for people who like Azure Strike. I know those exist out there. Okay, and then immediately you notice over here, Firestorm gone, right? So again, this used to be a choice node. Now Engulfing Blaze is its own talent. Just below. So Ruby Embers into Engulfing Blaze. I still would have liked to see a line maybe from Volatility downwards to stuff. From Feed the Flames down. That could still happen. Who knows? Okay, so Engulfing Blaze, Ruby Embers, no Firestorm over here, right? Still have Catalyze, Heat Wave, Irony. Honed Aggression has been changed. It is now a crit modifier, so it's a 2-point node. Critical strike chance of your spells is increased by 2% and then 4% for 2 points. Eternity Span no longer has the Shattering Star part of it. It's just Eternity Surge hits twice as many targets. Charge Blast is the same. Eye of Affinity and Event Horizon are the same. And now Shattering Star. And this is where, honestly, I'm pretty excited about this. People always got very confused about Shattering Star. It felt clunky to a lot of people. Now it is a completely passive spell. Okay? So Eternity Surge additionally releases a Shattering Star at your target that deals 50% more damage per empowered level reached. Okay? So now Eternity Surge is worth ranking past rank 1 for starters. And we'll get into more of that in a second. And then Shattering Star itself, exhale a bolt of concentrated power from your mouth at the target for 790 spell frost damage. Okay? And then we have a new talent point below, Star Salvo. Okay? And what this does, it increases the Shattering Star damage by 35%. And as well, for every mob hit by Eternity Surge, that mob is going to have a Shattering Star applied to it. Now, Shattering Star no longer has the 20% damage amp. Right? As we've seen here. It's just going to do damage, basically. But yeah. So Star Salvo is going to throw a bunch of Shattering Stars at mobs. We'll preview that a bit at the end here as well. But pretty cool talents. Again, one less button to press, one less keybind, passive spell. Not bad. Pretty excited about it. Onyx Legacy's in the same. Burnout's the same. Spellweaver's Dominance is the same. Azure Celerity and Scintillation. Causality, Titanic Wrath. All of this stuff stayed the same. Power Swell Iridescence also the same. The only real differences we see are on this bottom side. So Feed the Flames. So Firestorm deleted, right? But now happens from Feed the Flames only. And Feed the Flames also changed a little bit. So instead of 9 pyres, Feed the Flames now active after 6 pyres. So after 6 pyres, your next pyre will explode into a Firestorm. Fire and Disintegrate deal 20% increased damage to enemies within your Firestorm. And Firestorm lasts for 10 seconds. Okay, so again, taking a lot of the clunkiness that you guys didn't like out of the spec and just making things sort of proc-based or passive-based, right? So let me know what you guys think about these the removal of these buttons and making them more like passive and stuff. I'm curious how you guys feel about it. I think I'm okay with it. But yeah, we'll have to see when we play it. The spec is definitely like dumbed down to be very, very simple in terms of how many active buttons we're pressing. So our APM might even be lower than what it was previously, but anyways, Imminent Destruction, still the same. And then we have a new talent at the bottom here. Second Exhale. Deep Breath can be cast again within temp second of being used, so they don't have a number there yet. Just placeholder. And Recall will be available after the second cast if talented. So, This is going to be a very interesting talent once we start involving our hero talents, right? And you guys will find out Thursday, but I can't say yet what the Apex talents and stuff will be, but this will have a very unique interaction later on that I'm very excited about. But so anyways, obviously this leans heavily into like scale commander gameplay, right? Being able to deep breath twice within a certain time frame, a certain window. Recall being available after the second cast if talented. I don't really know if that part matters too much, because then you have to put 1 point into recall over here, which still doesn't feel great, but we'll just have to play around and see. Okay, so that's it for Dev. Now let's jump into Flame Shaper. Guys, I'm just going to start by saying this. Golf is no longer a spell in the game. They deleted in Golf. It doesn't exist. Golf is no longer a button we have in our rotation. I'm honestly quite sad about that. I actually loved it. I love the spell. I love the hero talent. I'm pretty sad it's gone, but here we are. It's gone, so let's look into the rework. Legacy of the Lifebinder. So Fire Breath now has 2 charges. Okay. So right away we have something different. Fire Breath has 2 charges. Cool. Trailblazer, still the same. Shape of Flame, also still the same. Ashes in Motion. Fire Breath's cooldown. So not only does it have 2 charges, it also has 5 seconds off its cooldown. So we're going to be fire breathing a lot. Enkindle, essence abilities are enhanced flame, dealing still the same, right? Just a dot. Expanded lungs. Fire breath damage over time is increased by 30%. Green best heal. Okay, so still the same. Essence well. Fire breath has a 50% chance to generate essence first. Okay, so 2 charges, shorter cooldown, and it can grant essence burst, as well as when fire breath is active, we have catalyze, right? From the dev tree. And then from the evoker tree, if the mob has a shield, we also get unravel. So fire breath gameplay, pretty important. Twin Flame, consuming essence burst, fires a twin flame striking your target for X amount of fire damage. Okay. This is pretty cool. So we're getting a lot of essence bursts while our fire breath is active, and then when we consume them, we're also sending out sort of like an essence bomb, I guess, right? Maybe kind of similar to that. Fulminous Roar, fire breath deals its damage 20% more often. Burning Adrenaline, fire breath reaches its maximum power 20% faster. Conduit of Flame, critical strike chance against targets above 50%, increased by 15. We knew that. Titanic Precision, Living Flame and Azure Strike have 1 extra chance to trigger Essence Burst when they critically strike. Okay, so more Essence Burst, which is going to make Twin Flame also a very good talent. Fire Breath's damage over time lasts 4 seconds longer. Okay, so we're getting CDR on Fire Breath, 2 charges, and it's going to last longer. So again, there's a lot of Fire Breath talent interactions going on. This is awesome, actually. This is pretty cool. Okay, so Life Cinder still applies Renewing Blaze. Draconic Instincts, still the same. And then, ooh, okay, so a new talent here, Fire Torrent. Twin Flame bounces up to 2 additional targets, so that's sort of like our Essence Bomb thing. A Twin Flame. So I wonder if this hits 2 targets, because it says twin, or if it's just 1 target, and then now it's 3, or now it's 4. It's either 2 and 4 or 1 and 3. We'll have to test that out. And then Consume Flame, because Engulf is gone, is completely different. So let's have a look here. Disintegrate damage consumes 0.6 seconds of fire breath from enemies it damages, detonating it for 150% of the total amount consumed. Okay. So Consume Flame now happens from Disintegrate or Pyre instead of Engulf, right? Pyre damage consumes 3 seconds of fire breath from enemies it damages, detonating it for 150%. So basically what I'm gathering from this is we have less buttons. We have a lot more fire breath interactions. We sort of have essence bomb. But we're going to be getting a lot of passive essence bursts just from having fire breath up. And then if we disintegrate or pyre, we activate consume flame. So consume flame actually, wait, this might be awesome. Consume flame went from being something that only happens from 2 globals to something that kind of happens every single time you press suspender. So this could actually be really insane. This could actually be really insane. I want to try and talent into these. We'll go with this for now, I think. I'll just hit apply, and then we'll look over at Scale Commander here. Okay. So, Mass Disintegrate. Empower spells cause your next Disintegrate to strike up to 3 targets when striking fewer than 3. Okay, this is the same. Might of the Black Dragonflight is 20% to black spells. That's the same. Bombardments. Same. Onslaught. That's just the Free Living Flame. That's the same. Now, basically, they took the Manaforge Omega tier set and added it into Scale Commander here. Command Squadron. While flying during Deep Breath, you are assisted by a squadron of Drakthir who assault enemies with Pyre up to 8 times. Okay, so we got our tier set. Mass Disintegrate strikes 1 additional target. Again, part of the tier set. Refined Essence. Essence abilities deal 15% additional damage. Unrelenting Siege is the same. Wing Leader. Bombardments reduce the cooldown of Deep Breath by 1 second. That's the same. Melt Armor is the same. Hardened Scale, so we still get the additional DR. And Menacing Presence is still pretty much a dead talent. You always want the extra DR. Extended Battle and Diverted Power are the same. There is a change here. So Nimble Flyer is the same, but Slipstream. I'm not sure if it's actually in right now, but we received information that it would only give you 1 hover charge. It wouldn't give you all your hover charges back. So we'll have to see how that ends up released into the game. And then maneuverability. Deep Breath burns targets for a dot, as well as you can still drive it around. So, yeah, I mean, pretty big changes, guys. Scale Commander basically just gets the tier set. Flame Shaper gets a full overhaul. And then we get a lot of new talents to play around with. So, like, the second Exhale with Scale Commander will be pretty interesting. Especially once we get our Apex talents later. Now, again, we're getting, like, 3 more talents, guys, so... our Apex talents. So yeah, a lot to look forward to. I'm pretty excited. Let's just like... Let's throw on this Star Salvo. We'll try this Azure Sweep thing. And then I kind of want to try this left side stuff too. Need like here's some mobs. Make sure I'm in combat with all of them. Okay, so let's send out this Eternity Surge. Okay, so all the Shattering Stars got sent out. So now my Azure Strike is lighting up. Let's see what it does. That was it. Oh, wow. Okay, so... Shattering Star is critting for 6k. Eternity Surge is hitting for 13k crits. Okay, so 13k seems to be like a big number after the stat squish. So So all the Shattering Stars are hitting for about 5k. That's not bad. The Azure Sweep hits between like, yeah, it's about 5k. Okay, so Azure Sweep isn't the most exciting thing. Eternity Surge throwing all the Shattering Stars. Pretty freaking cool. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I don't the Azure Sweep is okay. I'm not sure we would play this, but interesting, I suppose. Okay, so let's get our Fire Breath up. We're just gonna tip the scales Fire Breath and then spend some Essence, actually. Wait, is this bugs? I have perma 2 stacks of Fire Breath, guys. I can just keep casting Fire Breath. Okay. Okay, so I want to see, how much is our... Okay, so Twin Flame. Twin Flame also hitting for about 6k. And Consume Flames seems to be about a 1500 hit. Consume Flame, 3k crit. Let's try to max rank. And Disintegrate. Now let's take a look at this. Consume Flame with Disintegrate, just 300. 300. Okay. So a lot of passive effects that just kind of add to our damage. Oh, I actually just noticed. The game is telling you when you have Leaping Flames. You see my icon changed. Dynamic icon. So I'll spend it, and then it goes back to a single Living Flame. That's kind of cool. That is kind of cool. Very interesting. Well, anyways, that's going to be our first look at the spec. We'll probably jump into it more with like gameplay and stuff in dungeons later. There's going to be a ton of videos coming on the channel, guys, for Alpha, Dev Evoker, Aug Evoker, probably some Devourer, DH, and a bunch more things. Guys, I'm so excited. And again, thank you so much to Blizzard for giving me the opportunity. I truly, truly appreciate it and am eternally grateful for it. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoy it. And very quickly, before I end the video, guys, I actually just noticed something. Show you guys. If you recall, on live servers a while ago, they changed how Dragon Rage worked. And I will pull that up for you right now. So this is currently what Animosity looks like on the retail servers, up to a maximum of 20 seconds. And I just noticed from reading that Animosity on the alpha says casting an empowered spell extends the duration of Dragon Rage by 5 seconds with no max duration noted. I don't know if this is intended or if this is actually back, but we might have infinite Dragon Rage extensions back, boys. I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see, but I just noticed this and I just had to throw it in at the end of this video. This is so exciting. But anyways, catch you guys later.